Funny introduction joke. What's good, you misfits? My name is Red, and welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be looking at a tool to make your Proton experience better in Lutris and a couple other things, and that is going to be the Protonup-GUI. This is an application that allows you to use the application Protonup, which is a terminal application to update your Proton-GE version for Steam, but this is one with a graphical interface. And it also allows you to add Wine-GE, which is a custom fork of Wine with the same sort of fixes that Proton-GE has for any games you may want to play that aren't in Steam and that you're playing through Lutris, for example. And without further ado, we're going to jump over to the desktop, and I'm going to show you how it works. So now that we're on the desktop, we're going to download Protonup-QT. Turns out the name was not Protonup-GUI, it was Protonup-QT, and it has a GUI, a GUI for it. I got the name wrong. So with that, we're going to open up Firefox or Brave or Chromium or whatever browser you're using. It opened on the wrong screen. There we go. And we're going to search Protonup-QT. Here it is right here. I'll also have this linked down below so you can very easily find it. Now here is the releases page. This is going to have the app image already made for you, which is going to be the easiest way to download this. So if you go over to the releases tag, this will show you what the latest releases are. It was already on that. I don't know why I clicked it again, but hey, whatever. So we're going to scroll down to the download, and we're going to download the x8664.app image. I'm not sure what a .zsync is. If you want to try that out and see what it is, feel free. I'm going to go with the standard app image, so I'm just going to click that. It's going to download. We're going to save the file. Now, I've already downloaded this, so I'm not going to do it again, but we're just, yeah, I might as well download it again. So we're going to save it in, we'll save it in downloads. Why not? Now that we've downloaded it, I'm going to open the folder that it was in, which was all the way over here. Here we are. Here's the app image. We're going to right click. I'm going to cut, and I'm going to put it into my programs folder. So you can see I have Protonup 1.5.0. This is out of date, so we're going to delete that one. Give it a second to delete. And now we're just going to right click and paste the new one. Now, the first thing you're going to have to do before you can run this is that there's two ways. You can either right click, go into the properties, and then in one of these tabs for its permissions, you have to set it to be executable. You can also do it via a terminal. So if you right click, open the terminal here, you can run, if I make this a little bit bigger so you can see it, here we go. You run chmod plus x and then the name of the file. So in this case, it is actually easier to just right click, copy, and then Control Shift V dot app image. That would be the command you would use. Let's spread this out a little. Oops. So that'd be the command you would run to do it via the terminal. Since I did it via the GUI and my file browser, I'm not going to bother doing it that way. I could have just closed the terminal, but you know what? Sure. But if you did want to do it via terminal, that is how you would do it. And that just allows the file to then be an executable program. So once you're done, all you have to do is double click it. And now you'll have this. You have this little program that'll show you what you have. So we have installed for Lutris, and then you have installed for Steam. Steam will install the Proton.GE. Lutris will install the Wine.GE. So you can pick what version you want by clicking the Add Version, Compatibility Tool, Wine.GE. And then you pick which version of Wine.GE you want. So there's a specific version for League of Legends. I don't play League of Legends, so I don't care. There's a lot of specific versions for League of Legends. Apparently that one needs some very special fixes. But for right now, I believe the latest is 6.20GE1. So we're going to choose that version and then click Install. And you'll get a little progress bar in the bottom showing you how long it's going to take to install. So you're just going to wait for that to finish, and it will install it for you in the proper directories. It knows where to put it all. It's a very nice little program. You could also do this in the terminal for Proton-GE. If all you care about is the Proton version, there is a terminal command. Brody made a video on it talking about it. It's really cool, and I do like it. GUIs are just a little bit easier for people. It's a lot easier for people to understand, oh, click a drop-down menu and then click a button rather than type a command in the terminal. Even though the terminal is more efficient, this is just easier to understand and wrap your head around for the average person. So now that this is done, we're going to change on over to Steam. And for Steam, I am actually behind. The newest I have is 6.19. So we're going to add a version, and we're going to add 6.20. Again, going to click install, and we're going to wait for it to do its thing and install the Proton version. I actually need this because I need the 6.20 fixes for Final Fantasy XIV if I ever decide to use a PS5 controller. Although I think in Steam it's less of a problem. It's a problem that we ran into using the standalone Final Fantasy XIV launcher with my friend Lily. They are trying out Linux for the first time. They made a little video talking about the comparisons, but it's a video of their initial impressions. And they seem to like it, which is great. They're not going to completely swap to it, and I wouldn't expect them to. I'm not even 100% swapped to Linux. I still have a PC with Windows on it for a handful of games, like I'm about to get Back 4 Blood. The anti-cheat doesn't work on Linux yet because they haven't turned it on, although they might be. I don't know for certain. God, I hope so. But I'm going to be having to play that on Windows. And for right now, I could get Xbox Game Pass and get it for $1, which would be cool. But then it's on Xbox Game Pass. I can't play it on my Linux box that way. If I go ahead and buy it on Steam and just run it on the Windows machine, I can remote play from my Linux box and have everything on my Linux box. It's just running on another computer. But we are about done with installing now. So there we go. That's it. That's literally all you have to do. And now you have the newest Wine versions, and we're done. And now we can just close. You can see it's right here, Proton 6.20. But we're just going to close that. And now if I open up, let's say Steam, and we'll give it a second to load. It's going to take a minute. So we're going to cut to when it's loaded. Okay, now we have Steam loaded up, and I am already over on Final Fantasy XIV. And if I go into Manage Properties, Compatibility for a specific version, and I can change it to, there it is, Proton 6.20 GE1. And there we go. And now I'm already on the newest version. I will say Proton-GE makes a massive difference when it comes to Final Fantasy. So if you plan to play Final Fantasy XIV on Linux, definitely install this tool and use it to get Proton-GE because it is a night and day difference. I was running this on well, actually just an older version of Proton-GE. I think it was running like, what version was I using before this? Compatibility, I think I was using 6.14 to run the game, and it ran perfectly fine. But if I got into a town with a lot of people, it would start to chug. I switched over to 6.19 yesterday, and super smooth, amazing performance improvement. I was very confused because I thought it was just because I'm on older hardware and that it was just struggling because of so many people. No, it just turns out that I needed a newer version of Proton and it smoothed things out amazingly. Proton-GE is something that I say that you probably need if you plan to play Final Fantasy XIV on Linux. Just install Proton-GE and Final Fantasy XIV works basically like it's native. It's amazing. There are no graphical issues. There's no audio issues. There's literally no issues I can find whatsoever. The only quote unquote issue is that when you start it up, when you're logging in, you have to press enter instead of clicking the login button. That's the only drawback to running it on Linux. It's just that one issue. Now, granted, first installed, there are some other things. Check out Proton-GE for a full in-depth thing about running Final Fantasy XIV, but that's just my example game for like the difference of why you should use Proton-GE or Wine-GE. It's a very big difference, and it is amazing just how much better it makes the game. But now we're going to close out Steam because I don't need it. But that's it. That is all there is about Proton-GE, Protonup-QT. I'll get the name right one of these days. That's all there is to it. It's that simple. It's a very useful program. It makes things much easier than either installing Protonup and running that in your terminal, and especially much easier than installing Proton-GE yourself into the proper Steam folder, which isn't hard. You just have to find the right folder and then drag and drop the zip file into it. It's not difficult. It's just confusing trying to figure out what that folder is, because if you haven't used it before, the folder won't exist and you have to make it yourself in the right place. So this makes your life so much easier. I highly recommend it. It'll be linked down below in the description. And hey, if you like this video, make sure you hit that like button, hit subscribe to see when I post new videos. And if you want to support it, you can support me over on Patreon, or you can check me out over live on Twitch, where you can see me using tools like this every time I stream on Monday, Wednesday, and Sundays. I said that in the wrong order, but you makes sense. Sunday, Monday, and Wednesday in the evenings. There's also a Discord where you can check me out and hang out and chat, and there's a lot of people there who will help out with any tech issues. We have a tech support channel if you need some help. Can't guarantee we'll be able to help. There's a lot of people there who don't mind giving it their best shot. You can also see me over on Twitter, twitter.com/itsrogren. And that's going to do it for today. I will see you all next time. Peace out.